Hello, and welcome to the another episode of Startup and Entrepreneurial Series at Let's Grow channel. I'm your host Meraj Husen, and I'm very excited to invite a very special today. Someone who is the executive director of the WNE FinTech and AI Incubator. Someone who has earned his MBA from Babson College and hold a CFA chartered. He is also a chief investment officer in the emerging technology space. Let's welcome the one and only Sterling Orr. Sterling, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. Glad to
How?
be here.
Oh, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. One correction, I'm not the one and only Sterling Orr. I'm actually, my father's name is Sterling Orr, so there's
Oh,
two of
really?
us.
Wait, so you
This
said,
interesting fact.
yeah, wait, this is the first time I heard. Your name is just Sterling Orr and your father name is just Sterling
Yeah.
Orr.
Yep.
Wait, how is this?
Well,
What is
it's,
the.
I guess it would be, I'm the third, he's the second. So my great grandfather was Sterling Orr. He named well, actually, it skipped a generation. Then came my father, who was Sterling Orr second. Then I'm Sterling Orr the third.
Oh, wow, this is
So yeah,
interesting.
it's a I guess like English or European tradition or something. I don't know.
Oh, perfect. This is the first time I knew someone like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like, oh, wait, I think this is like Alexander 1, Alexander.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
That kind of
okay.
stuff.
Perfect. Love to hear that. Sterling, tell a little more about yourself.
Well, I'm, as you mentioned, executive director of the Western New England University FinTech and AI Incubator. And that's really focused on trying to bring some economic activity to Western Massachusetts, working with local businesses and some national businesses, some larger organizations to try to bring technology or to maintain Massachusetts, I should say, not bring technology, but maintain Massachusetts' position as a technology leader.
Sounds good. Uh, Sterling, there are a lot of questions to ask about you. You are in the position where a lot of people want to be. You are one of the inspirational for a lot of people. I wanted to go back from the very beginning. Tell us about your childhood. How was it? How was your parents? How did you grow up?
I guess I grew up, your typical American family. My family was in the car business, so we had car dealerships. And most recently Cadillac before that business was sold. So we always grew up in at least in luxury cars, anyway. But it was great. I had the benefit of being able to go to a really good prep school, and then on to a good undergraduate and eventually graduate degree. Um, but so I started off, just pretty much like everybody else. Maybe a little bit of an advantage because my family owned a business, but other than that,
Yeah.
nothing atypical.
Yeah, oh, this is what I was willing also. I was not sure, like, you are in the business world right now, so I was just willing to know whether you come from the business background or not.
Yeah, no,
And
car industry. I'd be turning wrenches if it wasn't for the influence of my father. I was always more interested in the stuff going on in the back of the shop with oil changes and tire rotations and working on motors and stuff.
oh, okay, sounds good. So when I was going through your LinkedIn, I saw you went to the Boston College for your undergrad,
Yeah.
and specifically in finance. Uh, Tell us about why did you choose finance, or how did you were decided to go to college that I'm going to study finance, or you explore? How did you come up with the finance major?
I think I did it the other way around, actually. I went in Bachelor of Arts education and not the School of Business education. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Hadn't really thought about it at that point in life. 18 years old. I was probably pretty a young 18 at that point. But yeah, so I really kind of just fell into finance. I never really loved math when I was younger, and then as I got older, but I always liked kind of techie, sciencey stuff. So there was some crossover, and I finally kind of focused on math a little bit more when I was in undergrad, and I chose an economics degree.
Okay. Wait, you said You chose the economics degree because you lean a little bit toward the math, or like you were, was there anything like I'm choosing economics because I'm going to be like in the finance world, or this was just the random?
Yeah, it's more about like understanding, like economics is pretty good for understanding how, businesses and economies and industries work. So kind of like I guess I thought at the time it was a decent baseline education to get if you didn't really know which direction you wanted to go.
Okay, this is interesting. So I'm a college student and I know a lot of college student, and I don't know, it might be the generational things, but nowadays people do not want to go grad school. They think that even the college is enough, and even though there is a vibe that do not need the degree. But you did your master degree. Why did you go to the master school?
It was probably just and at the time before I went to get my MBA, I was actually considering a bunch of different things, maybe a master's of science and finance. I was even thinking medical school at the time, but then I thought better of it because I looked at the roadmap in my current age and I was like, all right, no, that's not going to work out in terms of when I'm going to be able to start making money. Um, but where was I going with that? So the MBA, I chose that because it was already related to what I'd been doing before. In business administration, it was kind of a stepping stone. I figured I'd do that because I'd been involved in finance before, get the MBA, and then the CFA charter, and eventually become a portfolio manager.
Okay, that's good. I will come. I will go there later. But before that, I want to ask like, what like after bachelor right now we think that after bachelor we need to go and make money, no school more that. What was your like after your bachelor? You were also looking for the job, and if there is no other option, then I will go for the grad school. I don't want to go grad school. Or you were like very straightforward. No, after bachelor I will do my master.
I think a lot of people, a lot of my generation probably went, well, for the kids that did go to college, undergraduate. A lot of us went straight into the workforce. The job market wasn't great, as I remember, in 1993, but it started to thaw, I think, and so a lot of people were able to find pretty good jobs, doing something that they at least was tangentially related to what they had studied in their undergraduate. But then after a few years, people started going back to school. So after maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years, a lot of my generation started going back, and especially into our 30s, a lot of people went to graduate school.
Wait, so after your bachelor, you directly went for the master, or you took you
I
wanted.
worked after my undergrad.
What did you do?
I worked at Fidelity as in their retirement services department. So I basically traded mutual funds for people. They submit requests to to trade out of one mutual fund into the other, and then I'd process that. That was the first job out of college.
So you were making money, but what make you to go for the master degree?
The master's degree was probably I just saw it as a requirement to advance to really get ahead. It was just I kind of looked at it as a very from a corporate sense. You kind of see the people that are in leadership roles at the jobs or places that you want to work, and you see what their background, their resume looks like, and you try to mirror that. And so everybody had that MBA, CFA, and so that was the path that I chose.
Okay. MBA CFA. Tell us a little more about the CFA because very few people have got this degree.
It's a real pain in the neck, but but you learn a lot. Um, it's all self study. I mean, you can pay to take courses and stuff like that, but you can do it on. I did it on my own. I think I took one accounting course um, to brush up on stuff, but it was really just about horsepower. Like it's like reading a stack of phone books. It's about that exciting. It's not really complicated math or anything. It's stuff that you learn in high school, but it's a very rigorous process, and it just kind of weeds out people that may not be serious about it. If you really want to manage money, or if you really want to understand finance, it's a great program.
Okay. Wait, so you were like very studious from the beginning, or like what make you to go for the CFA like that rigorous course?
So yeah, I was definitely not studious until graduate school. Um, I kind of fumbled my way through undergraduate, and then really turned on once you're out in the workforce a little bit, and you learn the value of a dollar and what it takes to get it. You get a little bit of discipline, and so it kind of whipped me into shape for my second round of school in graduate school, and I graduated with honors, and then got the bug for learning, um, and just uh, and just wanted to go that next step.
That's interesting. Sterling, nowadays a lot of people give example, and there are like couple of like counted number of people that they dropped the college and they did these things. I see you have spent like very good number of your years in the school and colleges. What do you think? Why college degree is important? Most importantly, what are the things that you learn in the college you think that you will not have learned if you have not been to college or schools?
College I guess there's a cultural element to it as well, like a socialization and cultural element that it's a group of people that theoretically a cohort of people you're in college with that you're going to be moving through the workforce with, through your professional journey. That type of person, so you kind of speak that language and understand that, the whatever the culture, in short. Um, so that's really one of the aspects of what you get, aside from an education. But the other part of college that's important is, I guess, the curation of what you're going to learn. Somebody has looked at what's out there, what's coming, the job market. What are the what things are important to society, or our economy or whatever. And they've turned around and curated courses and coursework for to train that next generation. So it's theoretically what you're gonna what you're getting the benefit of going to college, because you could learn anything you want on your own, especially now with AI. Um, but it's that guided, instruction, and informed instruction, and not just kind of just a disarray or decentralized way,
Hmm,
more organized.
more organized. Okay. Uh, okay, we will come to the AI because we have a lot of things to talk about AI. But in the sequence, I also want to ask, like, you did like bachelor, master, CFA. What did you do after your CFA? What types of job did you do?
After my CFA, so when I finished my CFA, I had already had the job, or I was already with the company that I had targeted, which was, Babson Capital, which ultimately became Bearings, but it was a division of Mass Mutual. I was an analyst. I did a little rotation as a credit analyst, and then I was an assistant portfolio manager, and then a portfolio manager. Um, and that was the progress. Bearings was a great place to work. There were a lot of people that people usually don't leave, uh, uh, that organization, and so you could go on a track and be a career credit analyst if that's what you wanted to do. And they had really really good credit analysts, and so I learned from some of the top people in the industry how to do that. And then the same thing on the portfolio management side, which I thought the portfolio management side was more of a jigsaw puzzle, like trying to optimize a yield for a given level of risk. So I always liked that puzzle nature of the portfolio management. So that's why I went that route.
Oh, that's interesting. Sterling, what is portfolio manager?
So a portfolio manager is basically somebody tasked with taking money and investing it, on behalf of somebody else. So it's in my case, it was a insurance company or a reinsurance company that had to invest premiums to back liabilities. And so there were all sorts of rules around what, I could and couldn't buy, how much risk you can take. I liken it to picking. It's like a lot like picking up nickels in front of a steamroller. It's an investment grade credit, portfolio management. It's not moving that fast, but you can't screw up. Otherwise, you get steamrolled. Um, so you you essentially, I would figure out what the most optimized asset allocation is based on talking with other heads of other business units like asset-backed securities and commercial mortgage-backed securities, corporates, trying to figure out where the best relative value is, and then structure the portfolio, which can kind of be a task. A lot of times, liabilities have a much longer duration than assets
Assets.
that are available to purchase to offset them. So there was always a hunt for that perfect portfolio where you had enough yield, and you were long enough out the curve, but you had enough credit quality to satisfy everything.
Oh, okay. Uh, you talk about the liability and asset, and actually, I didn't know about the liability and asset. I'm computer science student, and I took one of the classes, but I didn't understand what is liability and asset. But I read a book, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. From that, I got the concept of liability and asset. What will you say in very short? What is liability and what is asset, and what is the difference between them?
Well, asset is, I guess, something I have, and a liability is something I owe.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Uh, Wait. So you said after your degree, you got job in Mass Mutual and you were doing portfolio manager. That sounds very fantastic. And I'm sure you might be making a lot of money. You were making the good money. Am I right or not?
I went up. I've gone up and down, and I was definitely when I was at Bearings, I was very well paid.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that sounds very good job. You were making a lot of money, but why did you leave that job?
I was vain. I thought it was easy to start a company.
Oh, okay.
Um, and so I left. I really got the bug. I got the entrepreneurial bug, 4 or 5 years ago, and started looking at ways uh, to jump out on my own. And some of this was driven by, I loved Bearings. I loved the team that I worked with, my boss, everybody that was that I was associated with there was top notch and just really great people to work with. Um, but I'd gotten tired, so the headquarters moved from Springfield, where I'm from, which was an 8-minute commute to Charlotte, North Carolina. And I had kids in high school, in middle school, and I didn't really want to move my family. And then I was flying back and forth, and it just got tiresome. And so I figured, you know what, no time like the present. There's a couple of things happening with blockchain technology, and there's AI in the background. So there's this big we saw this big groundswell, and I was like, you know what, I can do this, and I jumped out, and it's really really difficult, but we're starting to see the thaw. So a lot of hard work over the last few years has paid off.
Okay. So you left the job and you started the entrepreneurial journey, we can say. But a lot of people think that okay, I will do my full-time job and then I will also start business on the
Yeah,
side. What do you think about that?
if you can do it, great. Unfortunately, the job when you're a portfolio manager, the whatever that line is from Wall Street, like money never sleeps. It's true. When you're a portfolio manager and I was responsible. Well, I wasn't definitely not the guy responsible for the most money bearings by any stretch. But it was about $5 billion. And when you have $5 billion that you're watching on behalf of other people that are counting on you not to screw it up, you tend to think about it a lot. You tend to, wake up on a Saturday morning and do something, or take a call on a Sunday, or take a call at 8 o'clock at night on a whatever day to talk to somebody overseas. Um, it's a consuming job, and it's something you're always paying attention to what's going on economically outside. Just because every basis point matters to your client, especially at that scale.
Okay. Okay, we are entering to the entrepreneurial. You said I got the entrepreneurial bug. Tell a little more about that. How did you get, and what, like, did you just get idea and leave the job, or you make the group? Like, what is entrepreneurial bug for you?
Oh, so from leaving
Yeah.
bearings, like kind of what was the idea, or what was the timing of that?
Okay, let me say like this.
Yeah.
So you said that I left the mass mutual job
Yeah.
because I got the entrepreneurial bug. Like, okay, now I will do entrepreneurial. I will do some start up some business. What are the other things like? Did you went there somewhere places and that really click, or did you find good people that they can make the business? What are the things give you confidence that no, now I can go and make the business?
When people start repeating what you're saying, or so what really kind of sparked me to think that I could do this was that I started getting calls. So I started talking to some people just about, I read everything I could about blockchain technology, all these, NFTs and art pictures and stuff that were going for big money. That was kind of like a side, obviously at this point, armchair quarterback, it was a sideshow because it all collapsed, which, you knew it would, but there was an underlying technology there that was extraordinarily interesting. And I just started reading everything there was about it, and then started talking to other people that I knew outside, both internally at Bearings and then externally about what I had seen or what I thought the direction was going. And I started getting calls from people, from, like real people, just this random guy during COVID, spouting this stuff about blockchain. I started getting calls from larger hedge funds and investment bank divisions. Like, hey, can you talk to me a little bit more about what that is, what you mean? Um, and that just kind of led to finding another couple of guys that had the same idea, and we formed a company called Meta Mortgage, and we were about to start raising capital when I was approached by another group um, called QPQ. That was another blockchain that wanted to build um, the technology that I was talking about. But long story short, it was, the crypto winter came, and then a whole bunch of regulatory concerns popped up, and I thought the safest thing to do at the time was to, you know what, let's not pursue that right now, because that seems to be a very heavy lift in terms of the regulatory stuff. Let's go start a technology consultancy, and we're seeing a ton of deals anyway. So let's just, leverage our backgrounds and push forward.
Perfect. Now I want to, because you talk about the blockchain. During that time, we were, I think, in the maybe high school or something like that. There was a wave of blockchain. Everyone was just talking about the blockchain, and that was like hot topic, like AI. What do you think? Why blockchain? I would not say that get diminished, or why people are not talking about blockchain. More AI took over. What do you think about that? What is your opinion about that?
It probably suffered a lot from the nefarious activity that was out there, because blockchain is like stuff that's like that. It's a really powerful tool. You can just create something instantly, and there's hype over it or whatever, and and immediately distribute a security or something that's, not supposed to be a security but actually is a security. And so I think it kind of shook the confidence of the mom and pop out there, at least in the United States. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to mess around with that because it just seems, criminal and shady. Um, but uh, but it really, really the end user isn't the one who benefits most. Interestingly enough, because it was pushed out there as being like, hey, get your money instantly. No, don't wait for anything. But really, the ones who benefit the most are the institutions, asset managers, people with the big infrastructure with all those costs embedded, where blockchain is going to shave. I don't know. I've seen reports where anywhere from 15 to 30% of your expenses. Things like um, you know just people pushing paper back and forth um, are replaced by smart contracts. And there, in many cases, the smart contracts actually have, they produce electronic documents that have legal standing. I believe it's UCC 12